The 76.2 mm divisional gun model 1902 was a Russian light field gun used in the Russo-Japanese War, World War I, Russian Civil War and a number of interwar armed conflicts with participants from the former Russian Empire. Modernized versions of this gun were employed at the early stage of World War II. History. This gun, known as the 3-incher, was developed by Putilovsky Works in St. Petersburg in 1902. The lead designers were L. A. Vishliak, K. M. Sokolovsky and K. I. Lipnitsky. It incorporated many new features for that time: carriage with recoil devices, traverse and elevation tracking mechanisms, precision sight for direct and indirect firing, manual interrupted screw breech and single-piece ammunition loading. For simplifying the mass production process, designers used in the gun's construction cheap types of carbonized steel with minimal use of rare and expensive nickel, manganese or chromium-added types of steel. Early version had 2 seats for the crew on both sides of a barrel. From 1906, they were replaced with an armored shield. The shield had a specific design: an outer shield with a big rectangular opening, and a smaller inner shield behind it. The upper and lower portion of the bigger shield were folding during transport. The gun had fragmentation, shrapnel, and canister ammunition. More specialized types of projectiles included smoke, incendiary, and chemical rounds. Many ammunition pieces were French-originated. Limbers could carry 40 or 44 rounds in a light artillery and 28 rounds in a mounted artillery, while caissons carried 48 rounds in both cases. Employment. M1902 divisional guns were the mainstay of Russian Empire artillery and were accepted well by the army. The characteristics were at the same level with similar 75 mm French and German guns. The gun was used in action for the first time in the Russo-Japanese War at the Battle of Telesu, but proved ineffective due to lack of crew training and the outdated conceptions of the senior artillery officers. The gun was also used in World War I after the collapse of the Russian Empire in 1917. M1902 guns were employed by different factions: Bolshevist Red Army, monarchist or counter-revolution White Guard, nationalist forces in Russian minority areas, national armies of Poland and Finland, and simply anarchists and bandits throughout the vast territories of former Imperial Russia. In some episodes the gun saw its first anti-tank usage. The White Guard and intervening Allied forces used a small number of tanks, primarily French Renault FDs and British Mk versus Whippets. The M1902 gun with its high muzzle velocity was an effective weapon against such targets with only anti-bullet armor protection. In the 1920 Polish-Soviet War, M1902 guns were again used against Polish FDs. Poland captured large numbers of M1902 guns in a course of the Polish-Soviet War and impressed them into service as a standard piece of the mounted artillery. Designated 76 2mm Armata WZ 1902. In 1923, there were 568 guns WZ 1902 in inventory. Most were converted to WZ-02, 26 guns in 1926 to 1930. However, Poland also retained some of the guns in the original 76 mm caliber to use existing stocks of ammunition. There were 89 of original guns available at the outbreak of World War II, among others. The sole gun used during the Battle of Westerplatte on 1 September 1939. Interwar development. Poland and Soviet Union modernized their M1902 guns after the end of World War I. Polish designers made the minor enhancements in 1926, resulting in the WZ M1902 26 gun, which was rechambered for firing 75mm shells used by the most numerous Polish field gun, the Cannon 75 model 1897. The USSR continued mass production of M1902 gun until 1931, when it was replaced by its enhanced M1902-30 variant. For Soviet modernization, see 76mm divisional gun M1902-30. Both variants were utilized in the early stages of World War II. There were still 2066 guns of M1902 model available in 1941. The Soviet stockpiles of 76mm ammunition for this gun were so large that the Soviet Army decided to retain the 76mm caliber ammunition for the modern field guns designed in the 1930s, even as other armies changed to larger calibers for the basic field gun.